Let's see, are we live? Where is my chat box? What is up? As you come in, if you can see and hear me, put where you're checking in from in the chat. If you can see and hear me, put where you're checking in from in the chat. If you can see and hear me, put where you're checking in from in the chat. Tonight is going to be really good. It's a little different because I am going to be working on some things and I am going to be sharing my screen and you're going to be able to follow along and also learn the strategy behind it too. I see Chicago. Hey, Keisha. Vegas. Were you here last time, Nails on Drip? For some reason, your picture looks familiar. Were you here at the last live last week? So this one is a little bit different. I know that a lot of people come in for the strategy, but then they're not willing to come in for the work, which is why I titled it the way I did. So if you're watching this, it means that you care about the work and the strategy to actually make things work for your business and for your brand and to make things successful. So shout out to you for coming in here tonight. Oh, see, I know I remembered your face. So you weren't here last time. I see Memphis, Argentina. Cool beans, cool beans. Yes. So I don't want to make this super long because I know last time we were live, it turned into a 2-hour and some change live, and it was really, really good. So if you were there last week, it was Friday. I know that Nails on Drip was there, but if you were also there last week, Friday, and it was good, put that you were there on Friday, like put juicy in the chat if you were there or if you got a chance to watch the replay. So last time we talked about growth strategy and really how to analyze your business to identify potential areas for growth and then how to create an action plan to actually execute that. So if you haven't watched that live, you definitely want to watch it because we are going to take it down. We are taking it down tomorrow and we are going to upload that growth action plan live into the Bomb CEO's brand resource library. So for those who have already joined Bomb CEO, you'll have access to it for as long as you're a Bomb CEO member. And then for those who aren't in Bomb CEO, if you want to be able to rewatch that 2-hour live session, replay it, rewind, all the things, you definitely need to come into Bomb CEO and join because that's where that live is going to live. And this one is probably going to be taken down too. So I don't know yet, but we'll see. But I know the one last week, Friday, it was too juicy. It was 2.5 hours of strategic planning. And that's a Bomb CEO type of benefit. So we definitely got to take it down and put it into their resource library. Shelly said, oh, I missed last Friday. Yes, Shelly. So the replay of last Friday is still up. The thumbnail says growth action plan, something like that. So look for that one. It's the one right before this one. But if you miss it or you don't get a chance to watch the full thing before tomorrow, then join Bomb CEO and you'll be able to watch it as many times as you want. Okay. So definitely. All right. So I got some points outlined here because although it's a working with me session, I wanted to just talk through my mindset a little bit and talk through just how I got here. So that way it can help give you some clarity as well. As I am sharing anything on this live, if it's helpful to you, give it a thumbs up. If you learned something new, definitely make sure that you are sharing in the comments gem or juicy whenever something is new to you or you've gained a lot of clarity on. And then if you really, really, really love this and you really learned some things, whether it's 2 things, 3 things, 4 things, whatever the case may be, then you definitely want to make sure that you join Bomb CEO. You can go to bombceo.com or you can click the link when I put it in the chat. But Bomb CEO is my new membership community. And it is going to take you to your next level. So it's all about equipping you with the strategies, the skill set, the mindset, and the habit set in order to reach six figures and beyond. So honestly, multi six figures. So if you're already in business, if you aren't in business yet, but you are about to launch your business really soon, like I'm talking in the next month or so, and you really need to buckle down on some things to make sure that it's successful, Bomb CEO is for you. If you are already in business and you have been trying to push past the amount that you're making now, maybe you're stuck at $1,000 months or $2,000 months or whatever the case may be, and you're trying to tap into $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 months, so on and so forth, to tap into multi six figures for the year, then Bomb CEO is for you as well, okay? So definitely make sure that you join Bomb CEO. Doors do close tomorrow for the inaugural class of Bomb CEO. And the inaugural class, they actually will be able to get a lot of juicy details, but one of the juicy things that they're able to get is access to a giveaway that we're doing. We are giving away a pair of Tory Burch sandals. We're also giving away a designer fragrance set by Jimmy Choo. And then we're giving away a gift card to some high-end designer stores. So you definitely want to make sure that you are in there. And the reason that I'm doing that is because the women who have decided to take a chance on themselves and to join this community as an inaugural member, it really does say a lot about where they're at with mindset and honestly what they want out of their lives. It shows that they know what they want and it shows that they're going to get it. They don't wait to see other people do it. They know exactly what they need and they know exactly how they want to get there. So when the opportunity and the resources presented to them, the fact that they jumped on it says a lot. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to reward the inaugural members with such high-end giveaways, right? Because normally you hear people giving away like, yeah, maybe a $50 gift card, like a Visa gift card, or maybe you hear them giving away like something that benefits them or something that's really, it doesn't hold weight or it doesn't hold a lot of value. And that's why I wanted to make sure that the gifts that I chose were gifts that I would appreciate as well. So like me, I am a Tory Burch girly, okay? I love me some Tory Burch sandals. I love me some Tory Burch, period. But I probably have like 6 pairs of Tory Burch sandals right now in my closet. And for me, growing up, I used to shop at the $9.99 shoe store. If you know what I'm talking about, put in the chat that you can relate. So I used to shop at the $9.99 shoe store where all of the shoes, they used to lie because all the shoes were not $9.99, but they would start as low as $9.99. And that's where I would go to like get all of my sandals. That's where I would go to get my heels and stuff like that. Even when it was a special occasion, that's where we would go to shop at. So the fact that now I'm at a place where I can buy $200 sandals is crazy to me. I was thinking about it the other day when I sent my husband upstairs to grab some sandals for me because we were packing to go somewhere. And he was like, which ones do you want me to grab? Because I just naturally say, oh, grab my Tory Burch sandals. And he was like, which ones do you want me to grab? You have a lot of these in here. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. That's over $1,000 worth of sandals. Like insane. Mind you, growing up, I was going to the $9.99 shoe store. So I say all that because these are all gifts that I would want myself. Heck, I wish somebody gave me some Tory Burch sandals because I'm about to buy some for myself for a trip that I'm going on. And then I wish that somebody gifted me designer fragrances because it's just something about smelling good that just really elevates your whole look. If you know what I'm talking about, let me know too. In the chat. It's something about looking good paired with smelling good that just puts you on top of the world. Like it just gives you this new sense of confidence. Like you can tackle anything. You could get anybody you want. Like all the things. Like when I smell good, I feel good. When I look good and smell good, I feel great. If you know what I'm talking about, put I love to smell good in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. Because if y'all don't like to smell good, then that's a problem. That's a problem. Nails on Drip said we have one here in Vegas. Yeah, we have a bunch of $9.99 shoe stores in Miami. So I grew up in Miami and we got a bunch there. We don't have many in Atlanta. I've seen some, but not many. But we had a bunch in Miami. But But yes, Nails on Drip said absolutely very classy vibe. Thank you. Oh, and by the way, full disclaimer, if you're in the live, you definitely want to make sure that you're engaging throughout the time. So if you were on the live last week, Friday, the more you engage, the more I share, and then the more questions I answer. So make sure that you're engaging in the chat when I ask a question, respond to it, so on and so forth, because you get out of it what you give. Okay, so full announcement. Sean said, look good, smell good, eat good, live good. Okay. I love to smell good. It definitely elevates your look. Shelly said, I love to smell good. Yes, I even keep mini fragrances in my purse too. I love it, love it, love it. So I say all that to say, definitely check out Bomb CEO. You can go to bombceo.com or you can click the link in the description box. And like I said, I'll be putting it in the chat throughout. So that way you can join before we close doors tomorrow and be one of the inaugural members who could possibly win one of those 3 prizes, which I'm super excited about. Let's see. Shelly said, I love to smell good. It just puts your whole look over the top. I love it. Lofi said, I love to smell good. Yes, yes, yes. All right. So now let's get into what I came here to do. So make sure that you have your notebooks and if possible, grab your laptop as well, because some of the things that I do, you may want to work alongside me, especially because we're not going to keep this replay up. So you want to do this in real time. If there's somebody else who, you know, has a brand, they own a business, and they should be in this live because they need to get some strategy together, send them this live and tell them to join because they may not be able to watch the replay or they won't be able to watch the replay for long because I think I already decided in my head that we're not going to keep this up past tomorrow. We're probably just going to take this one and the one from last week down, honestly, because I'm about to show y'all some BTS of one of my businesses, and I don't know if I want that to live on the internet. So the fact that you're here right now live says a lot. You're going to get like firsthand experience. So definitely. Keisha said, I signed up, coach. I'm so excited. Yes, Keisha. I'm so excited for you. And I saw that you posted in the group that you are ready to hit your 10K month. I also know that you told me that separately too. So the fact that you're already putting that out there means that it's definitely going to happen for you. And we're going to make sure that that happens. We're going to make sure that you have the strategy and the action plan to make sure that it happens and all the components aligned for sure. So super, super excited for you. So just to reiterate what we're about to do, I am about to work on some strategy for one of my businesses, specifically HBU, which is my product business. It's a mixture of digital and physical products. Right now, we launched with just digital products as a way to test the market to see what we wanted to actually print and make physical, make into a physical planner or physical notebook, so on and so forth. So even that right there is a gem. If you have the ability to test something, definitely test it. So you can always beta test your products. Even with physical products, you can get a select group of people who align with your target audience and you can send them your products and then collect feedback from them. Ask them a series of questions, right? It's called market research. Ask them a series of questions to get answers to what you need to know in order to make your strategies more successful. Okay, so that's a gem right there. And if you have digital products or even if you have physical products where you can test out the concept digitally, then you definitely want to do that. Okay, because then you reduce the amount of risk that you have because now you don't have to pay for the physical product or pay for shipping to get it to someone. But what we did with HBU is all of the products we created were digital and people could get them online without us needing to really do anything. Everything was set up automatically. But what we did was we gauged the interest and then we gauged how many purchases, well, not even gauged, but we saw how many purchases came in for each thing. And we used that to gauge the demand of what it will be like if we had a physical version of one of those things, or if we created a physical version that was very similar to one of the concepts that we already tested. I hope that makes sense, right? So, yes. So we are going to be working on HBU today. Specifically, I am going to be working on an email strategy because there's a gap between where HBU is right now and where I want it to be. I want HBU to hit $100,000 in its first year, which I know that it can do because we've seen it. So just quick transparency. I talked about this on my podcast, Hustle Talks podcast. So if you don't watch it, watch it. But I talked about this on Hustle Talks podcast in the first and second episodes, and I probably mentioned it again in one of the episodes that's coming up. But we launched HBU in February, or I should say I launched HBU in February, and it was doing great. It was doing amazing. For like the first month and a half, we were consistently getting $300 to $500 a day. So I know that it has the ability to make $100,000 in its first year because I've seen it. But then things started to go down when I had to take a step away from both of my businesses due to losses in the family and things like that. I took a step away for the full month of April pretty much. And then May was me collecting some of the pieces back together. Whereas June, now I've created plans, action plans, and now I'm starting to execute them. So I'm super excited. And I know that it's possible that it could reach $100,000 because it's proven. And I can see it. Okay. So as you come in, if you are just hopping in, if I am sharing something and you learned something new, give this live a thumbs up. It shows YouTube that you love to see this type of stuff, but it also shows me that you like when I go live and share this type of content or these gems. So as you come in, please give it a thumbs up, and then make sure that you're engaging with the chat, because the more you engage, the more I share. Shelly said, what time tomorrow will the door close? 11 p.m. Eastern time. There's a countdown on the website. If you go to bombceo.com or thebrandhustler.com/bomb-CEO, whichever one is easier for you, there's a countdown on the website. So it tells you have 1 day, 3 hours, 7 minutes, and 5 seconds from right now. So that's when it closes. Sean said, juicy, thank you. All right. Thank you for the thumbs ups. That really means a lot. So how did I identify that I had a gap? Well, I shared a little bit of this in the strategy talk that we had on Friday, where I said you really have to look at your data, and then you have to look at your goals, and you have to analyze where you're at with where you want to be. And then you have to strategize to be able to even identify the gap. You need to strategize. And then to be able to actually get there, you need to create the action plan to get there. So from doing that, I was able to see that I have a gap that I need to fill of about $5,000 every month to get me to the $100,000 mark with this particular business. Now, full clarity, I have another business right now, right? Technically I have two, but one of them is on pause. I have another business and we do really, really well over there. So when I say that I'm trying to hit my first 6 figures, I'm talking about the new business that I recently opened in 2024. As of my business that has been open since 2019, we make multi 6 figures every single year. And our next goal is to actually make $1 million in a year. So full clarity, because I know that you hear me say different numbers sometimes. And so I don't want you to confuse the two businesses. And you're like, wait a minute, you just said last time that you already hit $10,000 a month. Yes, because that's how I strategize for the business that's already making multi 6 figures every year. And so now I'm taking some of that strategy and applying it to HBU, applying my experience, which is why it's always great to lean on somebody who has experience, because they can reduce the amount of mistakes that you make. And I'm leaning on my 5 years of entrepreneurship experience to apply it to this new business to be able to reach certain goals faster, reach bigger goals faster. Okay. So the reason why I even decided to work on my email strategy is because that was one of my weak areas. Okay. So I realized that this is one of my weak areas in terms of HBU, right? Not weak because I don't know how to create it, but weak in terms of we just wasn't doing it. If you know that email can be a sales booster for you or a community booster for your brand, but you're not doing it, put in the chat, I need email. So if you know the importance of email, but you're not using email to its full capabilities, put I need email or I need email strategy. Let's do that. Put I need email strategy in the chat. So you know the importance of email, but you're not using email to its full potential with your brand. Put I need email strategy in the chat. And I came across this revelation after doing some strategic planning and thinking and brainstorming. But I also came to this because I decided that I need to be more serious, right? So I had a period of time where I was out of office due to things that I couldn't control, but I didn't want to make that an excuse. So typically people will like make a bunch of excuses and they'll push their goals back further and further because something happens. My car broke down and I got to put money into that, so I don't have money or time to invest into my business. Or hey, Khadijah. Khadijah's in Bomb CEO. I noticed that name. Okay, but the point is, what was I saying? Like, I saw her name and I got excited. But a lot of people will make excuses, right? These things happen to you or against you in your life or in your business, and you make an excuse as to why you can't achieve a certain goal when you plan to achieve it. That's not how I operate. So if something happens, I always think of plan B, C, D to get there. And I always tend to bounce back so that way I can make sure that I can achieve my goals. And quite frankly, sometimes I don't hit the goal on the mark, but I get pretty close to it. Why? Because I decided to pull myself up and to keep going, right? And so in this situation right here, that's what I decided to do. Although I could have just took the rest of the year off, I decided, no, I'm going to get even more serious to make sure that I can hit the goal that I have for both of my businesses. And so as a part of being more serious, one of my mentors actually recommended the 12-week year. Y'all heard about that book? And I see all the I need email strategies. So y'all are in the right place. Y'all ever seen this book? Y'all seen this book? One of my mentors recommended this book. And although I had seen this book a bunch of times, and I've heard good things about it, I didn't really take it serious until now. And I didn't buy it until now, right? So not only did I buy this book, but I bought the workbook to it. And the workbook, I got a digital copy. And I got the physical copy of the workbook. Of the actual book. Hey, Glennis. Also a Bomb CEO member. I love it. I love it. It's okay. Technically, y'all, Bomb CEO's first session is next week, Thursday. But I see the members in here coming to get some information today. I know that's right. Get all the gems for sure. So yeah, so I got this book, right? And I got really, really serious. What this book, 12-week year, talks about is it really stresses the fact that you don't need 12 months to accomplish half of the goals that you set. Literally half of the goals, probably even 70% of the goals that you set can be accomplished in a smaller time frame. But because you train your mind to think in the perspective of a year, so you're thinking 2024 goals, you're thinking, what am I going to accomplish in this full year? You're training your brain to move at a slower pace, right? You're training your brain to move at a slower pace. So what 12-week year does is it condenses the amount of time that you have so that way you push towards your goals faster. And that's why the bottom of the book literally says get more done in 12 weeks than others do in 12 months. And when I tell you that although I just got my hard copy literally in the mail last night, I had started applying the 12-week year principles when about 2 weeks ago. So right after I came back from being sick, which was another thing that could have stopped me. I was really, really sick. And you can hear it in my voice still. But I started to apply those principles about 2 weeks ago. And when I tell you that I have gotten so much done, I have buckled down and gotten serious about a ton of different areas that I was lacking in. This book is a gem. And quite frankly, after I read it and I continue to apply it, this is possibly going to be either the first or the second book that we read in Bomb CEO, only because this is one of the few books where I've applied the concept without even reading the book, and I have seen tremendous results in a fast period of time. So I'm debating whether this is going to be the first or whether this is going to be the second, but it's definitely top two when it comes to the books that we're going to read in Bomb CEO, because we're definitely going to make sure that we're reading books and applying those concepts. So this is something that we're going to read together. So Glennis, Khadijah, Keisha, and anybody else in here that is in Bomb CEO that I didn't see, you might as well get this book, because this is going to be book 1 or book 2. All right? Because we're going to read this for sure and apply the concepts for sure. And so once I got the 12-week year, or when I started applying the concepts and I got more serious and I realized how much I was actually getting done, I said, Chanel, there's no excuse why you know that there's a gap in your business and you're not filling the gap. This has been something that has been on my to-do list to do. Email strategy, creating emails, all the things for HBU has been on my to-do list to do. And I kept pushing it back as if I had more time and more time and more time. I blinked, we're in June. I still got no email strategy for HBU. Whereas for my other business, we have a very strong email strategy. We actually send out emails twice a week. We send out an email on Mondays and Fridays. Those emails serve two very different purposes, which I'll get into a whole spiel about that if I had to explain it. But they serve two different purposes, right? And the only time we don't send out 2 emails a week is if we are in the process of a sale. Because typically when we're in the process of a sale, or, something new just launched, we're typically sending way more emails than twice a week. We're typically sending an email probably every day or every other day. And so that's the only time where we don't send 2 emails a week. So with my first business, my first baby, right? The one that makes multi-6 figures, we send out emails twice a week, and I have seen the benefit and the effect that it's had to build community, the benefit and the effect that it's had to drive conversions in terms of sales, and just the benefit that it has had overall to just keep things flowing on a consistent basis. So if you are in business and you've seen some months where you make, I don't know, 5,000, and then some months it's like 1,000, and it's always this roller coaster or this up and down, you need to look and see what is it that you're doing in those months when you're up versus the months that you're down, right? And then you need to see, okay, how can I even this out? What is something that I can do consistently to even this out? Keisha says she already got the book. I know that's right. Shelly said I need to get it. Yes, Shelly, especially if you're going to join Bomb CEO, you need to get it. That's going to be either read number 1 or read number 2. Okay? So, with that, I want to tell you why having an email strategy is important. So I know why it was important to me, and I'm going to share that with you. Because if you've been sleeping on email, all the people that said I need email strategy, you are missing out on a couple of things. One, you're missing out on loyalty. What I mean by that is email is one of the few ways that you can get direct contact with somebody. When you are talking about social media, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, which is I count it as a video platform, but some people call it social media. Any of these platforms, you cannot guarantee that whatever you want to share will get in front of who it is that you want it to get in front of. You can't even guarantee that what you post on Instagram will get in front of your followers. Can you guarantee that? Yes or no? Can you guarantee that every time you post on Instagram, all of your followers will see it? Because quite frankly, that's one of the most annoying things that people say about the Instagram algorithm is that their followers never see their stuff. And so with email, you allow yourself to have sort of like a one-to-one relationship with your audience, right? Whether they've shopped with you before or whether you're still in the nurturing process to nurture them to shop with you, right? This edge control is actually annoying. I just realized it, right? I see a bunch of no's in the chat about Instagram. Exactly. So you miss out on building loyalty when you don't have an email strategy. Because you have the ability to do one-to-one, right? You have the ability to send Keisha an email to Keisha. Even if you're sending it as a mass email, because you have personalization features, you can send Keisha an email that calls out her name. You can send Keisha an email that calls out her birthday. You can even send Keisha an email that calls out the city or the state that she lives in. If you do it right, if you collect the right information, if you do it right, all of those are parameters that you could set up. If you use Klaviyo, there's a ton of different targeting options. I highly recommend anybody who has a digital or physical product business to use Klaviyo. That's what I use for HBU. If we're talking about my other business that is more kind of service and program oriented, right now we use Flowdesk. It's not my favorite thing. It's super easy to use though, and it makes pretty emails, but it's not my favorite thing. Because I'm a data girl, I want more data now that we've built our list to be very, very large. I need more data. And so we're thinking about switching from Flowdesk. But if you have services or programs or anything like that as well, definitely check out Flowdesk. But for the products side of your business, you need to be using Klaviyo. Like, period. It's the best. It is the best. And it integrates with Shopify so well. It is the best. So boom, you're missing out on loyalty if you don't have an email strategy. And I am right now with HBU. The second thing is you're missing out on engagement. There could be different points of engagement that I can have. I can ask people to reply to the email. I can ask people to maybe engage with a piece of content from a social media platform. I can maybe even ask them to engage with my website. I'm missing out on engagement. Big time, right? So if you don't have an email strategy, you're missing out on that too. And then I'm missing out on trust. Why? And this is one that's going to hit home for you. So if it hits home for you, put, I need to build trust in the chat or just put trust in the chat because I need to build trust is a long thing. But if this hits home for you, if you are the type where you send out an email whenever there's a special, whenever there's a sale, that's when you send out your emails. Or some of you, maybe you do one up and you send out an email when you have maybe a new product or a new collection, something new just launched. You'll send out an email then. But those are the only times that you send out emails. Either when there's a sale or when you've announced something new. Those are the only two times that you send out emails. If that's you, put trust in the chat. And remember, if I am sharing some information that is hitting home for you, if I am giving you some clarity, if I am dropping some gems, give this live a thumbs up just to show YouTube that you love this type of content and to show me that you love this type of content. So maybe I'll come back and do another one. But if you learned multiple things throughout this live, if you got multiple clarity points throughout this live, then you definitely want to make sure that you check out BCEO. That is my new mentorship community. And we have these sessions every single week. On top of that, you have a group chat to ask questions, to share feedback, to cheer each other on. You have a brand resource library with all types of goodies in there. Honestly, I even put insider trainings in there. So let's say I'm training my social media coordinator or my video editor or my executive assistant on something. Like, some of those things are already in the brand resource library, and you get the transparent look at all of that. So definitely check out BCEO by going to bombceo.com or going to the link that I put in the chat for sure. So you miss out on trust big time, because what's happening is you're only reaching out to people when you absolutely want them to do something for you, versus you building a connection and you showing up on some type of consistent schedule where they can rely on getting your emails. They can look forward to, oh, every Monday, I'm going to get an email from Daisy Boutique. Or every Tuesday, I'm going to get an email from Shelly's Bakery. Literally. Like, think about it, right? It's the same thing across the board for almost anything and almost any piece of content, right? If you don't show up consistently, people lose trust in you. So somebody just said, I never disappoint. The reason she knows that is because I've either gone live multiple times, or in my videos, when the way I share information, it's on a consistent, valuable basis. Right? So she built that type of trust with me. All right. So then, last but not least, you're missing out on money. This one is a big one. And this is a big piece of the puzzle here, right? Because yes, we're in business to solve problems. Yes, we're building brands to create legacy brands and to make impact and all that. But quite frankly, we also need to make some money, because in order to execute a lot of the big time strategies we want to do, or even just to keep things running in our business, we need money. And so you are missing out on money if you don't have some type of consistent email strategy. Okay, so I'm about to share something with you that is going to blow your mind. And if it blows your mind, I want you to put ROI in the chat.